What's up, everybody? Welcome to the TYSK Report. I got a great lineup of articles lined up for you on the docket, so let's dive in. Humanoid robot enhanced for blue-collar work environments. A new full-size general-purpose humanoid robot has been introduced by Shanghai's Kepler Humanoid Robot. Kepler displayed the Forerunner K2 at GITEX Global 2024. The K2 is the latest iteration of the robot series tailored for commercial operations. While the K1 released in November 2023 could carry up to 55 pounds with an 8-hour battery life and highly agile arms, the K2 features extensive software and hardware enhancements. They include advancements of dynamic perception, strategic task planning, full-body coordinated operation, autonomous learning, and motion control. Kepler said the K2 has almost fully mastered the ability to autonomously perform tasks in specific scenarios. Kepler has a 3-stage plan for commercializing its humanoid robot, starting with the initial deployment, followed by adaptation to specific vertical scenarios, and ultimately achieving universal application across all scenarios. And here is a video of the K2, so let's check it out. So as stated before, it looks like robotics are moving into different spaces and different industries and different sectors. Even though it seems like it's moving slow, from my perspective, it's not. One thing about this technology is we have no clue what other companies are doing in other parts of the world. Even this K2 one was something that I was introduced to as I read this article and presenting it to you, so that way you can be informed as well. But with these companies, there are companies out there who are building these robots, and probably have some who are full ahead of even the K2 that we might not even know about. So the interesting thing about this is to always stay informed, because people would always say, hey, the robot won't be able to do this or won't be able to do that. But for some reason, companies are finding a way to build robots that are doing these things that people say they will never do. And with technology, it can move full speed ahead within the blink of an eye. And we do not want to underestimate technology and the companies that are building it. But if anything comes with the humanoid robots revolution, I'll make sure to keep you updated. Let's move on to the next article. Rideshare drivers in Massachusetts can unionize without being full-time employees. Massachusetts has passed a statewide ballot initiative that gives rideshare drivers the opportunity to unionize while remaining independent contractors. The initiative was brought forward by the Service Employees International Union and the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers. The measure will allow the state's 70,000 rideshare drivers to form unions and leverage collective bargaining power, which is now permitted for independent contractors under the National Labor Relations Act. These workers can unionize if they receive signatures from at least 25% of active drivers in Massachusetts. The initiative also creates a hearing process so that drivers from companies such as Lyft and Uber can bring complaints about unfair work practices to a state board. However, the ballot initiative does not contain language about strike protections. It also does not extend to food delivery drivers. Uber and Lyft did not actively campaign against the Massachusetts measure, but they have raised concerns about the specific language. Some labor advocates have also opposed the initiative, cautioning that it could hamper efforts for rideshare drivers to win recognition as full-time employees. So it looks like Uber and Lyft drivers can now unionize, but the interesting thing about this is the timing of it. Right now, Uber and Lyft are both two companies that are partnering up with autonomous vehicle companies, and they're looking to expand that opportunity for people to hop in a autonomous vehicle. So I wonder how this is going to affect drivers in the future, because if you could have a fleet of autonomous vehicles driving on their own for the company, where would the drivers come into play with this? So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens next with this. Even though autonomous vehicles are still figuring things out, they are definitely going to be coming in the future. So it's always important and something to be on the lookout for. So if you are a driver for Uber or Lyft, this is something to be mindful of. So if any type of news arises on this information and this specific topic, I'll make sure to keep you updated. Let's move on to the next article. Volkswagen subsidiary launches self-driving trucks in the US and Europe. Silicon Valley startup Plus has made a major step forward in its driverless trucking program by releasing its Level 4 autonomous software in tandem with Traton Group brands Scania, MAN, and International. After months of testing in both the United States and Europe, the Beta 5.0 version of Plus AI's base SuperDrive tech is now operational in trucks on both continents. In addition, hub-to-hub routes have been identified by Plus and Traton for phased commercial deployment in Texas, and fleet trials are already planned for the next months. A pilot run between San Antonio and Laredo has already been completed. Initially, testing was conducted offline before the companies graduated to closed course evaluations. After that, an extensive series of public road testing was carried out with teams based in Sweden, Germany, and the US all liaising closely to ensure coordinated progress. Among the benefits this brings is reliable performance in conditions varying from snow in Sweden to extreme heat of Texas, and an ability to adjust it to the varying driving behaviors of humans in different parts of the world. And in that short video, even though the person is behind the wheel, that truck is still moving on its own. So it kind of has that Tesla FSD feel to it. So with these trucks, I know there are a lot of companies who are also working on this, but then there were some who went bankrupt who were unable to move this forward. So we shall see how this plays out. It will be interesting to see what's going to happen within like the next 4 to 5 years with these trucks. I'm not sure if it's going to replace drivers or if it's going to assist drivers, but as always, I'll make sure to keep you updated if any other information arises. Let's move on to the next article. Amazon brings generative AI power recaps to Prime Video. Amazon announced on Monday the launch of X-Ray Recaps, a generative AI powered feature that creates concise summaries of entire series, single episodes, and even parts of episodes. Notably, the company claims that guardrails were put in place to ensure the AI doesn't generate spoilers, so you can fully enjoy your favorite series without the anxiety of stumbling upon unwanted information. information. The new feature is an expansion of the streamer's existing X-ray feature, which displays information when you pause the screen, such as details about the cast and other trivia. X-ray Recaps is currently in beta and will only be available to Fire TV customers in the US to start. At launch, users can access the feature on all Amazon MGM Studios original titles, including Daisy Jones and the Six, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, The Wheel of Time, and The Boys. Amazon also noted that the feature is fully personalized to align with a precise moment you're watching, so whether you're just a few minutes into a new episode, midway through a season, or returning to a series you forgot about, X-ray Recaps can provide brief snippets of scenes happening in real time. So I like this. This is a great use of technology because sometimes when life is lifing and life is happening, you could find yourself not being able to watch a show that you were watching previously. So then when you come back to it maybe a month or two later, you want to remember what happened, so then that way you can kind of get caught up to speed when you watch the latest episode. So for those people who have Amazon Fire TV, you now have this at your disposal, being able to kind of interact with it before it gets expanded to more TV shows and movies. And then for people who don't have Amazon Fire TV, maybe this is something that would encourage you to get it. But that's some of the latest news with Amazon. I'll make sure to keep you updated with any other information that arises. Let's move on to the next article. Nissan and Mitsubishi to develop self-driving cars. Japanese automakers Nissan and Mitsubishi have partnered to develop self-driving cars. According to Japanese news outlet Yomiuri, the pair have agreed to a joint venture that will be launched by the end of the Japanese fiscal year, March 2025. The arrangement will see each company take a 50% stake. The focus will be on developing vehicles with level 4 capability, as defined by the Society of Automotive Engineers. Level 4 is considered full automation with a car in full control of the driving in a specific area. Verification testing is due to begin next year, with Nissan currently concentrating on developing the vehicles and Mitsubishi focused on an AI power system that will essentially act as the vehicle's brain, working out routing. So that's some news related to Nissan and Mitsubishi. They are also moving to self-driving cars. It looks like more companies are doing that. So it will be interesting to see how all of this plays out. A lot of this stuff is moving full speed ahead, but it's happening in different parts of the world at different timelines, but they're all lining up in some form or fashion. So I think 2025 is going to be a very technological, interesting year. That is my prediction, because with all these things being launched in that year, or next year I should say, it's going to be full of excitement. So I'll make sure to keep you updated as things move along, and we're moving towards the end of this year into the new year. Let's move on to the next article. Roblox is banning kids from social hangout spaces. Roblox is going to block kids from accessing certain types of experiences following reports alleging that the platform has enabled child abuse. One new measure will stop kids under 13 from accessing experiences with certain type of interactive features. Those include social hangouts, where the primary purpose is to communicate with others over text or voice chat, and freeform 2D user creation experiences, where players can do things like draw on a chalkboard or whiteboard. This change goes into effect beginning November 18th. Another change stopped kids under 13 from playing, searching for, or being able to discover unrated experiences. This change goes into effect after December 3rd. If a creator wants to let a player under 13 access their game, they will have to complete a questionnaire and make sure that all of the information regarding their experience meets the Roblox requirements for its current all ages or 9+ ratings. Roblox says it will start enforcing those requirements next year. So it looks like Roblox is implementing these features to make sure that underage individuals are safe on their platform. That is going to be very important as we move into the future with all this different technology that's being implemented. So shout out to Roblox for doing that. And if you are a parent or guardian who has a kid using Roblox, this is something to be informed about, because you always want to make sure that they're safe on any platform that they're using. So that is some of the latest news happening in the world of technology. It's always important to stay informed because things are always rapidly moving. So in order to do that, like the video, subscribe, and then check out these 2 videos where I talk more and make sure that you stay informed on the things you should know happening in the world of technology.